Welcome to the Ben Wood Johnson podcast. You can visit Dr. Johnson's blog at benwoodpost.com. Dr. Johnson's works can be found at drbenwoodjohnson.com. You can also support Dr. Johnson on Patreon, the link to which is in the description. Hey, welcome back to the Ben Wood Johnson podcast. Today is June the 25th, 2018. This is our final episode in the series, What is Technology? Today we're going to be talking about how society is an illusion, how the being is somewhat restricted in society, and because technology is so constrained, so contrived, the being is not able to survive within the confine of his abilities to survive. If you have been listening to these podcasts since the beginning, this is it. This is the end. This is the final. In this particular installment, I'm going to be talking about the nature of society and how it is an illusion. The being is somewhat unable to survive. Society sort of defines him a certain way, and because of the way society defines the man and treats the man often finds it hard to navigate the realities of society. It's been a wonderful opportunity to talk about technology in terms of how it is important and how it is diverted in society these days, how the concept itself is sort of changed in terms of its meaning and its applications. And this series were designed to sort of explain the nature of technology. Each episode dissects or talks about the concept of technology and context. So if this is the first time you're listening to this podcast, I strongly encourage you to go back and listen to the previous podcast. In the meantime, let's conclude with the whole concept of technology, of what it is in the end. Next week, we're going to be debating the concept of war. We're going to be looking at Lysander Spooner and the concept of justice. So without further ado, let's get to it. Nature does not give people the capacity to live in comfort. God does not give people the capacity to drive luxury cars. He would never do so, because if he were to do so, that would be detriment to other people, and being detriment to other people would automatically make his existence precarious. Because what makes God, if we are calling God nature, what makes God what it is or who he is, it is because God is there. It is because God exists. And how do we know God exists? Because there's a matter that we can see and touch in a particular time, which is right now. I can look at myself and I know there's a matter there. Well, where did that matter come from? I must ask myself. I don't know. It's just there. And if that matter is just there, there must be something there. Because if there weren't anything there, there wouldn't be a matter there. So that matter that I am, that is standing on this matter, that is earth, and that is resting on the matter, that is the universe, and we don't know what other things that the universe rests upon, then there is a being there. And I am a matter. As a matter, I am part of all the other matters out there. Thereby, my existence is not my existence. My existence is the existence of the matter upon which I rest, upon which it rests, upon which it rests, upon which, until we don't know where it all began. But society is different. Society tells you that you are not a matter. Society tells you that you're not a matter, you're an idea. Society tells you that you are not a matter. You are an idea. You are an illusion. And that illusion that you are is an illusion that we created. We made you. We gave you a name. We gave you a place to live, to be, and we give you the meaning to be. Therefore, society in itself is acting as a god. Then everything that one wants to have in society is given by God. But that God is a social God, is a man God. It is not a divine God. Because society has nowhere to find any divinity. Divinity is incompatible with society. Divinity is not communal. There's no community in the divinity. Divinity is individual. Everything that is divine within itself and for itself. It is not divine for others. It is not divine within the context of others. So when you look at society, you realize that society is divine for others, with others, and by others. Because outside of society, there's nothing there. And inside of society, there's nothing there. Society in itself is an illusion created by man and in an effort to understand who they are and where they're going. It must be understood that technology has been misunderstood. And all the technologies that we've seen so far in the world, be it a car, houses, the internet, all these technologies are not technologies within the context of the word itself. These are tools that men have created to make existence more comfortable. Okay? Because the car is not important for a man to exist. In society, however, a car is a key element of existence. Okay? So those technologies are man-made, man-created technologies for the advancements of man within the context of society. So at the end of the day, the technologies that men have created will ultimately lead to the demise of humanity. Because humanity no longer create technologies for the advancements of humanity. Okay? Humanity no longer create technologies for the progress of humanity. Humanity create technologies for the advancements of society. Okay? Humanity create technologies for the comfort of society, for the comfort of the man in society. Humanity does not create technologies to live within nature. Okay? Humanity no longer creates technologies that will allow them to resist a plague in nature. They have technology that's going to allow them to reduce, control, limit the effects of a disease in society. Humanity no longer creates technologies that's going to prevent them from catching the disease in the first place. Because the technologies we create, we can still catch a disease, but that disease can be controlled, managed. The tools that nature allows us to be are diverted in society, leaving the many vulnerable and facilitating the lives of the few, making the lives of the few comfortable and making the lives of the many